Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez, and coming at you today with a Vivi Omi update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. For not, welcome back. I love y'all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon and smashing that super thanks button down below and become a member. Raythax.eth domain name and not brown actual advice, as always. So we do have Omi at a surprising $931,000 in volume over the last 24 hours. This normally doesn't happen. However, I think I know why. We had a massive 100 million Omi sell wall, which again isn't technically that massive. It would have cost just 100 grand just to go and get that out of there. That did go down as the evening went on yesterday to 50 million to less than 50, like 25 million, which I thought was relatively good, relatively positive. We ate through that sell wall pretty quickly, and in total was up 3% over the last 24 hours compared to everything else that's doing okay. Bitcoin and Ethereum completely outperforming, up 7% in total. XRP outperforming, Cardano outperforming, Dogecoin. A lot of these, especially Solana, up 35%. So it does make sense that Omi is up, as is the rest of the market. It's just, again, because we are not on a lot of exchanges and because we're not on, again, the volume is less than $1 million. That's why we did not outperform anything in the top 14. We did outperform a lot of the top 20, 25 though. But again, that top 14 is pretty hard to get into. On days when crypto tends to run, I would expect Omi to underperform as long as we are just on these 3 lower exchanges, along with some other exchanges that nobody's ever really heard of. And then I would say, hopefully later this year we get 1, maybe 2 exchanges. One of the things that'll really help is the intro to the Viviverse. We should get that the first half of the year. That's really just the Vivi home space and then accessories. Again, just hopefully we can pay for a lot of that with utility, with Omi, and give Omi a little bit of utility. But again, that should come the first half of the year. Second half of the year, hopefully we are going to get the world, meaning Vivi City and other branded worlds. I think that alone is really going to help. And part of the reason is because we do have an article over by Murray Newland saying Metaverse to create 5 trillion by 2030, where they're saying, as while the 2022 bear market grazed off the excitement around the budding crypto sub-ecosystems such as NFTs, the metaverse remains well positioned for long-term disruption, considering the myriad consumer and business-centric use cases the metaverse could cater to. McKinsey and Company reports highlighted the technology's potential to generate up to $5 trillion in value by 2030. A lot of people I know have stuff in Sandbox, have stuff in Decentraland. What do you think they're going to do if we have something that's even close to what our brands offer? Again, I'm not saying we have a whole Disneyverse in there or Marvel Land, but IP-related stuff, again, you don't need everyone to care about Cryptkins if we have a Cryptkin Land. Just people that are into the supernatural. You don't need everybody to worry about, flying DeLoreans. Kids under the age of 20 probably don't even know what that is. But other people that like the 80s or just love those movies, they're probably going to care what that is. Again, just a thought. So as Vivi gets a piece of that 5 trillion, again, by 2030, starting, I would imagine this year, probably going to be pretty good for Omi and Vivi at large. Other stuff that was teased at DesignerCon that we were supposed to get this year is customizable avatars. That may or may not happen. Again, that will be through Ready Player Me. So if that does happen, we could have interoperability with Earth 2, which would be great. And then in Phase 4, we're supposed to get gamification. Again, that may or may not happen. I would imagine that would pretty much go towards next year, though. Going into other news, we do have a couple people that had purchased a bunch of things. We have somebody said that he purchased a ultra rare Miles Morales, which is a number 813, bought it for $525. Again, a lot of things have been pumping. One of the things that surprised me, which shouldn't have been too much of a surprise because I know someone that bought 10 of them, was a secret rare She-Hulk. I have been debating about selling that secret rare She-Hulk because it's currently at like 189, and the America Chavez, which has the same, like pretty much the same poses and the same mint numbers, is less than half that. So if I were to sell the She-Hulk and buy the Secret Rare America Chavez, then you could see how that could be a fairly decent thing if it does the same thing as She-Hulk. Will it? Again, that one didn't even sell out. I'm not sure. I'm just letting you guys know what I may or may not do. But you do have a lot of the Trinity: Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, the Todd, Elsa. You have a bunch of these really amazing things just selling every single day. In other news, we had Icebergy, that's got a couple 100,000 followers over on the Twitter, post a TikTok saying, hey guys, how do we know these PFPs are probably going to do well in the future? They just gave examples of people buying CSGO skins and doing a bunch of other things for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and that stuff that's technically not even on the blockchain. So getting stuff verified on the blockchain as true ownership for your PFPs does make sense. And again, that's just PFPs, not including any other utility that we're going to get with these NFTs, such as stuff in the Viviverse. Speaking of spending things in the market, we do have a signed Funko Pikachu Pop by Al Kahn, David Yu, and Dan Crothers, the trinity of Akomi, and guess what? You can get it for as little as $10. All you have to do is go to Best Friends Animal Society or First Responders Children's Foundation, the link's down below. Do a donation of $10. Every $10 you donate is an entry. You can do $10, $100, $100, you get 10 entries. And email the referral codes and links down to below at queenscourtcharity@gmail.com, and you can get yours. I did see something posted on the Facebook that said, well, 24 years ago, as of yesterday, Mark McGwire's 70th home run ball, again, I'm a major St. Louis Cardinals fan, was sold for $2.7 million. Again, 24 years ago and a couple days ago. And today that ball is worth between $250,000 and $400,000. Basically, this person was saying, keep this in mind when you're buying these things at all-time highs. They could go down in the future, and they might not be worth what you think. And yeah, there's some truth to that. Clearly, there's a physical example of Mark McGwire. Granted, again, why did I invest in Pokemon cards over sports cards in the beginning? And why am I investing in digital licensed, premium digital collectibles as opposed to sports memorabilia and stuff? Well, Mark McGwire, Barry Bonds, Jason Giambi, all these people got caught up in the steroid use back in the 2000s after they did all those investigations. How can I put this lightly? Superman is never going to be accused of steroid use. Okay, like the Kripken's Loch Ness Monster is never going to be accused of sexual assault. All of these amazing characters, amazing IPs, they are never going to be in jail for gambling. They're never going to be in jail for insider trading. These are things that, in my opinion, are much safer than a lot of the real people out in the world. Because again, athletes, movie stars, they're just people, and people can make mistakes. And those mistakes, hopefully they're not that bad, but sometimes they are pretty bad, and it makes the value go down a lot. But that being said, there's another reason why I wanted to bring this up. It's because the person that bought this ball was none other than Todd McFarlane. And if you don't know the story, Todd McFarlane bought the ball to be able to get McFarlane Toys into the door with MLB to secure an official license to produce official figures of those MLB players. So while the ball itself did depreciate in value, his overall investment netted him untold millions in profit. Why do some people, like my friend Ernie, buy that Gary Baseman 1/1, spend 5 figures on it? It's a cool 1/1, and Gary Baseman's amazing. I love him. He's a good friend of mine. But also, to get that lunch with Gary Baseman and David Yu. There's some things that you do just to get your foot in the door, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I would say Vivi's case probably going to work. That being said, clearly we have no drops this weekend. Alex had mentioned that on Twitter Spaces. No update on MCP as of right now, but there are a couple of other things that I do want to go over. Alex had said in Spaces yesterday the general sentiment from legal is that they wanted to move on from Wire. Again, I've said that, I think in my last update yesterday when I went live, but he does see reinstating Wire now, whilst finding a more long-term partner is a viable option, but he doesn't have much say in regards to that decision. And again, that was from the Twitter space yesterday. And speaking of Alex, he was on my collectibles show yesterday, and he was on Vivi Magic's show yesterday as well. I went live for a little bit. It was like someone said Vivi Magic's about to go on. I was like, forgot about that. Okay, so I ended that. We did a raid on her channel. That was pretty fun. And what he said on there is that we're going to have a Disney drop this week. And I was like, okay, all right, that's interesting. And okay, well, why is that interesting? I'll probably use this for the thumbnail. Whenever Disney does something, even if they tease something, if it's in the background, it's there for a reason. Why do people love to speculate about David's Collective Corner in the background on all the Akomi, Vivi updates every month? It's because he does similar things as well. And why you have things like this is because if you took a look at D23, and again, in that thumbnail that I plan to put on here, at the D23 Expo, who's in the background? Well, yeah, you see Mickey, you see a bunch of Platinum Stars, you see Mirabella, you see Buzz Lightyear, you see the cat, Spider-Man, Elsa, R2-D2, but you also see Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Now, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit is a really big deal. It was made in 1927. Like the change from him to Mickey all throughout Disney. he's one of the OGs. If you go and you take a look at his videos over on YouTube, whenever he's featured, any one of his videos, any one of his shorts that, not gonna lie, are not really that entertaining, and they're from almost 100 years ago, but they get a couple 100,000 views. Regardless of what it is, even if he's just mentioned in there, if he's mentioned in there, they get a couple 100,000 views. People like him. And there's been teases and rumors going around that he'll get a new cartoon this year, he'll get a bunch of things this year. And why I bring him up specifically is because Alex happened to go and retweet Kid Robot. Now, Kid Robot is someone that says, Disney's original animated cartoon star, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, is here to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Disney in plush form. And Alex happened to retweet that. And is Alex a hardcore fan of Oswald? Maybe. Or maybe he just happens to know what's coming. And maybe he retweeted that, as a preview. And again, I don't know. This is just speculation. But if I was a betting man, which I am from time to time, I would bet that this would be one of the ones that we get. And is it going to be the Disney one that we get this week coming up? I don't know. Maybe. Is it something that we get in the future? Probably. Again, Disney's not pushing him for, no reason. And again, the intimate relationship that Disney has with Vivi, you see it all the time. So, like I said, going to be pretty awesome. In other macro news, we had Bitcoin surpass MasterCard and Meta, which is Facebook, in market value. So I thought that was pretty dope. Strange Tales and Vivi, Strange Tales 180 rare flipped the ultra rare, which I thought was really interesting. Thought that was pretty ridiculous. Also in Spaces, Alex had mentioned that a lot of things, whether it's MCP, OEP, whatever, they are done. They are just waiting for Mitch to release them. So I'm pretty excited about that. And if you go to the development roadmap, we do get an update about once per month. We haven't this month yet. So we are looking for an update on the development roadmap, which will show the red rings. It'll show exactly where we are. Currently, there hasn't been too much of a change. And then we are going to get an update, again, that Vivi Akomi monthly update as well. And here's what we have so far. And obviously with Wire coming back, that crypto to gem hopefully is going to get just a little bit closer to being complete. Also, in other news, we did have 9 Todd Batman sell in the last 24 hours. Thought that was pretty wild also. But speaking of Disney, when I mentioned them before, the Walt Disney World over on Twitter said, prepare to enter the grid. It's almost your turn. Ready? Tron Light Circle Run opens at Magic Kingdom Park on April 4th, 2023. Head to the Disney Park blogs to learn more. And yeah, that's interesting. And we could get a Tron, drop, which would be dope. But Elon Musk tweeted, and he says, this looks cool. If you take a look at my Twitter, you'll see at the top it says, I made this Twitter specifically to follow Elon Musk tweets. I've never seen him tweet about or at Disney at anything. Now, maybe because he's big into sci-fi and he just likes Tron. Yeah, that's very possible. He likes Hitchhiker's Guide to Galaxy. He likes a whole bunch of nerd stuff. He's just a nerd at the end of the day. Same as us. But I wonder, again, I am a big speculator person, and I have pretty much no evidence for this. Just that David is a big fan of SpaceX. He has a SpaceX hat. He has a couple of Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh cards that went up in space via SpaceX. And I've made a video before saying that I think that a SpaceX partnership is possible. And obviously, Vivi's already well into bed with Disney because they, again, great relationship. But then Elon Musk, I don't know. Again, most likely it's nothing. Most likely he just likes it because of the, sci-fi aspect. But wouldn't that be wild if we had a Tron type of Tesla? Or not only did we potentially have a thing with SpaceX, but maybe a thing with Tesla as well. I mean, we could have a partnership with Tencent. Tencent owns like 10% of Tesla, and that's why Teslas are in a lot of video games. I would say at some point you might see a Tesla over in Vivi. Whether it's from a strictly Vivi partnership or because Tesla releases NFTs at some point somewhere other than Vivi, and then people just migrate them over to Vivi because, again, engine agnostic or interoperable. We will be able to take NFTs from other places and bring it here. Either way, I just thought it was exciting. And on one last thing that Vivi had tweeted in the last 24 hours, it says that Humberto Ramos returns with another Marvel artwork, 1 of 1, this time for the first time drawing Miles Morales for Spider-Man #1. And that starts tomorrow. So I thought that was pretty cool as well. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Everyone say bye-bye to Dashi. Bye-bye, Dashi. I love you guys. Goodbye. Meow, 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 meow. Vivi. Meow, meow, meow.